Hey guys, welcome back. Warren, Divine Audio Visual. We are here at Cedia 2025 at our favorite booth. This is the Trinnov booth. We've got our buddy David here. He's going to take us through their new product. Got something really cool to show us, huh?
Yeah, we certainly do. So we'll start you off with the new user interface and then we'll move into the new product in a second. So here we are. So come on in. So those of you that are familiar with the Altitude platform will know that the current user interface has some interesting quirks to it. Let's put it that way. It's very much an engineering menu. It was designed by audio engineers. This is our first sort of foray into a proper user experience.
Gotcha.
So what we're not trying to do is make it, so that every man can configure a Trinnov. That's not the idea. We still need our specialists.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll never replace the dealers, but we can still make your journey much easier and more user friendly. So those that are familiar out there with what we've been doing, this looks very similar to our Nova interface.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first product with this architecture. So let's dive into it. Let's see what we've got. So it's very much a wizard-based system. Okay, so we're going to start with the wizard. Now, the benefits of the wizard is it's going to get you from A to B a lot quicker, but we have basic and expert modes as we go along. So for those who need those more advanced features, you can jump into the expert mode and get right into where you need to be.
Yeah.
So let's get started. So first thing we do is put in the room dimensions. So this feeds a couple of things. So firstly, it feeds the waveforming algorithm. If you're doing waveforming, we need that room length to dictate the decay control parameter. The next part is it's also going to map based on the size of the room, the number of measurements you need for waveforming, and also give you some advice on how many measurements to take with the optimizer.
Gotcha.
So there's your room dimensions, and especially for you guys,
oh, thank you.
put it into feet. So
I don't mind doing the conversion, but that is appreciated.
I don't know what that means. So we'll go to the mode for the speaker declaration. So how many speakers do you have? Well, I'm a 914 as an example.
Yeah, fantastic.
Let's stick 4 subs in there just for later on. And you can see.
Oh, I like that. Look at that. So sleek.
Animates so nicely, right?
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
it's a super fast interface. So
really close to that. Yeah.
So that's the basic mode. So we don't ask you any longer, do you want a DTS setup? Do you want a this, or that, the other? We just say, how many speakers you got? Let's get on with it. Right?
Gotcha.
If you want to go, you can go into the expert mode. Now, excuse our little visual bug there. That will be gone by the time we get to release. But let's say you want to add a top channel. You just add a top channel. And let's say you're not familiar with the Trinnov nomenclature. You can choose RP22, you can choose Apples, DTS, or Oro. So we put that in there. So let's flick across to RP22, and you can see the nomenclature changes based on their naming structure.
Fantastic, yeah.
If you want to add an array, let's say you want to array your surround right, you add a physical array.
Look at that.
Bang. Now, as you guys will know very well, you would have had to have done that in the active crossover menu before. So you're hopping backwards and forwards into different menus. It's much more clear.
Yeah, that's so intuitive. I love it.
So let's move on. So I'm going to slightly give away the game, but we'll talk about the new product in a minute.
Sure.
This is now the output routing. So let's take an example where you want to use Dante to your speakers, but you want to use analog to your 4 subwoofers.
Just like that.
Just like that. Done.
Love it.
Now, if you're using Dante, you'll have to go into Dante controller and fix the routing, but that's just the next stage, right?
Yeah.
So we'll assume that's all correct. And that is your setup wizard complete.
Fantastic.
Okay, so at this point, you could start playing stuff through the system, all correctly routed and what have you.
Sure.
Next stage is to jump into the calibration wizard.
Yep.
So let's go to calibration. Let's go to next. And what you'll notice is that this is plugged into the Altitude CI. So this is a new microphone that goes with the Altitude CI. It's an EtherCon connection going back to the processor.
Very nice.
So that gives us 48 volt phantom power to the mic. And it also gives us an EEPROM communication platform, so we can ingest the microphone compensation file directly to the processor.
Fantastic.
No more finding a USB, plugging it in the back.
Yeah.
You know the process.
Exactly. Exactly.
As I say,
Yeah, my old mic's become my friend. It's with me everywhere I go. Just,
it gets
I
a
love
little
it.
bit.
Yeah, it's got a space in the box there.
Yeah. So this interface will change. This is just placeholder for now, but we'll make this more residential focused. This is from the Pro line at the minute, so it'll be a couple of couches and a bit more of a home cinema looking look and feel.
Yeah.
One thing we've added is a pre-calibration level alignment step. Okay, so again, as you know, if you wanted to do this, you had to go out to the active crossovers, come back, blah, blah, blah. Now we can do that straight from the interface. So if I put it into manual mode, we can do a pink noise test through the left speaker. We can measure the SPL of that speaker.
Sure.
And we can choose to increase or decrease the level of that speaker. This is absolutely key because when you're talking about gain structure, not just gain from one device to another, but into gain structure with your DACs and everything else, you need to maximize the headroom on the DAC output. So yes, we could put 10 dB onto the subwoofers to bring them up to the mains, but then you lose 10 dB on the DAC output.
Sure.
Right? So by doing it free, you get much better headroom on the DACs.
Fantastic. I love it.
The calibration level is also saved, okay, separate from the main user level. So now if you have to come back the next day, you can restart from where you left off and it will come back at the same level as you left off for calibration.
Love that.
Do you know, that's
So helpful.
Well, it is, but it's just such a simple thing, right?
Yeah, it's something so small, but it makes such a big difference.
It does make such a difference. So let's move on. So at this point, we're going to ask you, do you want to perform a multi-optimizer measurement and or use waveforming? So of course, everyone wants to use waveforming. So let's click yes.
Yeah.
And again, the visuals will change to be a bit more residential focused. And now you come to calibrate your speakers. So this is a view that you guys will be familiar with when you're trying to orientate the microphone, except now it's in the same place where you're doing your measurement.
That's
right?
awesome.
It's just there where you need it.
Yeah. You just went through it. How could we make this make sense?
Exactly.
This is great.
Calibration settings, if you need to change those, they're right there. If you want to get some details, so you want to see, let's take levels as an example, you want to check the crest factor of all your measurements, make sure you've got good signal to noise ratio. It's all right there straight in the interface. Now, obviously I don't have any speakers hooked up here, but you might notice the microphone has turned itself on.
Yeah, I saw that right away, actually.
So it's done that by itself. It comes on and off as needed during the calibration process.
Very cool.
Taking any margin for error out, let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
So let's go next. Assuming that all of our
great safety precautionary measure as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't like feedback loops. They're not
sure.
much fun. Tweeters especially don't like them. So at this point, we'll choose, because we selected to do waveforming, we'll choose which are our emitting subs, which are our absorbing. Okay. By default, it's going to do it half and half, but that may or may not be the case. Nicely animated to show the layout that you've done with your waveforming layout. So
if you guys are not familiar with waveforming and you're in the DFW area, we do have a waveforming system on display. So give us a call and we'll help you guys, understand a little bit better and experience it. It is phenomenal. This is you don't really need any base treatment in the space. It's like active base treatment, so accurate and punchy. It's fantastic. You have to experience it.
It's an incredible technology.
Yeah, it really is.
So we can now go over to the waveforming measurements, and based on the measurements that we put in, it's going to give you a suggestion as to how many waveforming measurement points you should do. We can even put the measurements in, so it's going to tell you how high.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. We'll even give you the red zone, so you can't measure it. Sorry, excuse my rendering here. I've zoomed in pretty far. If you need to make any adjustments to your room size at this point, you can. Okay. And again,
although John's suggestions of measurement placement has been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just call him and he's like, oh yeah, just here and here.
You might be familiar with our online tool. Okay, so that's going to be integrated in here as well. You can add the number of rows, add the number of seats.
Just when we first got into it, we've done many waveforming systems now, but first getting into it, you had to really kind of understand where the measurements should be taken to get the best result.
There's always some best practices involved with this. You know, we don't want data that's going to skew the algorithm.
Correct.
We don't want data from outside the listening area. That's just not helpful.
Sure.
So yeah, number of rules in place.
For sure.
Okay, so I can't calibrate my system because I don't have any speakers. Okay, so let's exit at this point. And let's move over to a system that has been calibrated. You can see we've done a few tests today.
Sure.
So let's move over to this little system and let's explore the graphs. So we've really changed the way we display the graphs. Now you can overlay things like frequency response and phase. So you can see the relationship between those two values, how that affects your before and after results. We've also changed the color scheme.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, for those who are colorblind, the previous UI didn't cater for that whatsoever. Gotcha. Unfortunately, it made it almost impossible to actually see if you had that particular visual aid. So, it's much better now. We can also, as you can see, we can see at specific points where we are on the scale of things. Okay. There's lots of different ways we can display this data. I won't go through all of it, but just to give you a bit of an overview for today. So let's step out into the optimizer and look at target curves. This is quite an interesting thing. So previously, there's been no visual relationship between your target curve and your after and before response.
Sure.
So you're kind of flicking backwards to the response, then changing the curve, doing this, doing that. What we can do now, if we go to graph here and we go to after, you can now plot your frequency response.
This is great.
Yeah, this is really cool. So if
it's on another level.
So let's say we did this as before. So let's take a speaker that has a certain characteristic to it. There are speakers out there that have a nice dip between 1 and 5 kilohertz.
I have a few in mind.
Yeah, exactly. But what that means now is you can look at that response and you can say, well, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong movement method. I want to respect that because that's a designed in choice, right? If you drive that out, it's going to sound horrible. That's not what the speaker's designed to do.
Yeah.
So we can be respectful of that dip and we can be respectful of the roll off. And then if you just want to go full, you can just do a nice segmented, however you want to do it. So yeah, I mean, there's a few more things I can show you. So in terms of the network, so again, we'll talk about the Altitude CI in a moment, but it's got multiple network interfaces. And this is where we configure that. There's a number of ways, which I'll go into a second, about how we configure that for use with audio over IP.
Yes, fantastic.
So there we go.
Man, just complete overhaul. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, as experienced users, it's a complete. It might as well be a different product, right? It's completely fresh.
And I love the interface the way that it is.
Absolutely.
You know, just gotten so used to it. But you know, it took time to get there. You know, to where you can use it quickly. And this is so intuitive. This is a very different approach.
It is for sure.
Love it.
So should we
show us something? Yeah.
Can we go over to? So let's go over here.
Yeah. Look at this.
Come with me.
Stuff is also beautiful. You don't actually have to make it look this good, but you just do.
No,
you know.
I know everyone wants the money shot first, but
come around here.
Let's start at the front. So let's
blur that actually.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So let's have a look at the industrial design. So this is the Altitude CI. Okay, so you can see we've really worked very, very hard to keep a uniform industrial design between the Altitude 16, the Altitude 32, and the Amplitude 16. You can see we've got a nice OLED touchscreen display on here. Okay, so it's very, very responsive. We can go through different menus, get lots of different information. Just at a glance, you know, no more buttons, knobs, that sort of thing. We wanted a nice clean front to this.
So sleek.
We envisage this going in a rack, right? So obviously your rack ears will be attached, and then you can get to quick functions as you need them. So hope you like the look of it. You know, it's a really beautiful piece of design.
Oh yeah, so nice.
Yeah, we're really happy.
Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very responsive. Very nice.
So now the bit that everyone wants to see. Let's have a look at the back.
Yeah, come on around.
So a couple of things that we're showing here at Cedia US. So let's start with the Altitude CI. Let's go through its input and output options. So first thing from left to right, you can see the microphone input. Okay, so this is the mic input here. So you can see that's an Ethercon connection, as I mentioned, over on the other stand. A couple of service ports, that sort of thing, not really important. What is important is the bank of input and output options that we have here. So we start with 8 analog outputs, okay? We maintain those, which I'll go through in a minute. 32 AES-EBU inputs and 32 AES-EBU outputs, okay? Right. Now we choose the D-sub connector. I know XLRs are great, they look fabulous, the jewelry cables are wonderful, this is so space efficient.
Sure.
You know, this allows us to get it into a two rack tooth chassis.
Yeah, which is just very important to just so many people.
It really is.
Rack space is precious these days. There's so many different devices.
Which is, it's very expensive as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
So moving across to the audio over IP side, we've got 3 network interfaces here. So it will ship with an SFP cage. So it'll be SFP to RJ45. Yeah. So you would normally have this in there, okay? So this would be your dedicated network for your audio over IP.
Gotcha.
And then this will be your LAN, so your local area network for your control systems, for everything else to do the configuration. Now, the great thing about the product is it's really, really scalable. Okay, so it starts at 8 channels, as I mentioned. So that can be 8 channels of any, or a mixture of both.
Gotcha.
You can then
some analog, some digital.
Yeah, absolutely. So in those examples, think of a hi-fi system. So think of a digital connection to your hi-fi speakers, and then analog to your subwoofers, maybe 4 subs for waveforming with a stereo setup. That's another another sort of level.
Very nice.
So the way the product is constructed is quite unique. So we're doing 2-channel increments. Okay, so you start with 8 channels and you work your way up to 32.
So you can just kind of add on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, software is an interesting thing. So asking people to pay for software is often a bit of a misnomer. There's a bit of a mismatch there because you've got nothing physical to get your hands on, right? It doesn't feel like value for money.
Yeah.
But the ability to buy only what you need, if you think about the Altitude 32, if you need 17 channels and you've only got 16, you've got to buy 8 channels worth of DACs.
Yeah.
And here, you just buy a license, 2 channels.
Yeah.
It's way more efficient in that way.
For sure.
Yeah. And also the upgradability of it. You know, you guys get calls from your customers every day. I'd love to add some more subs. I'd love to add some more speakers. You add a license, you go out, you calibrate, you do your work. Nice and easy.
For sure. Yeah, that's extremely common, especially with all of our Trinnov clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of, we all get the itch every 3 to 6 months. Yeah. What can we do?
So what we're showing here is a direct link. It's not a direct link is not a technology. It's just a terminology that we've come up with to basically dictate that we've got audio connection directly to the Dante board of the Altitude 16. Now, something that's absolutely key that everybody forgets about, there's a DAC in there. So everyone forgets that because it's hidden, right? The DACs are here, right? No, the DAC's in there.
Very cool.
So we've taken the same ESS DAC that we use on the Altitude 32 and the 16 and implemented that on the Dante board.
Fantastic.
So that way we get the same performance.
I like that.
And that's absolutely key for us.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Maintaining that really low signal to noise ratio, so they're super quiet, super dynamic. That's what we want. Okay, so with this configuration, that is 16 channels connected with a single cable. No need for a network switch, no need for VLANs, QoS, any of that stuff. If you want to go that route, use the SFPs, go to your managed switch, do your thing. Yeah, so that's the thing. Now, again, the further benefit to the product is that we're mixing audio over IP technologies. So we're mixing AES67 and Ravenna and Dante. So we've got those 3 options.
Yeah.
Some people would ask why. It's a very good question. So Dante is the Mac OS of the audio over IP world. It's plug and play, very simple routing. And majority of the time, you're going to use that on the output side. You know, that doesn't need to be a difficult thing.
Sure.
On the input side, when you're talking about hybrid DCI solutions, the Dolby audio that comes from the IMS 3000, CP950 or a Bel Air server, whatever your flavor is, that has to be AES67. There's no choice on that.
Gotcha.
And it's a bit of a pig to configure. We've been talking with a lot of clients over the days here. They're saying, thank God you've gone Dante, because AES67 is wonderful. It's an open standard, which has its advantages, but the configuration for it is a bit painful. So you can make it complex where it needs to be complex when you're integrating with other products. And then when you're going to the amplifier, simple plug and play routing, off you go.
Yeah, man. Fantastic. It looks like we have an Altitude 16 open box for sale from the showroom.
Well, that's actually a really interesting point because naturally a lot of your customers are going to be saying, well, surely I need to upgrade to the new product. Actually, you don't. And that's a really strange thing for a manufacturer to, I'm telling you not to buy a new product. That's a bit of a weird thing. But actually, it's the same performance that you're getting from the 16 and 32, just with a different form factor and type.
Oh, I know. This is just my OCD. It has to look like this. you know.
Yeah,
So I've got all the XLRs and everything. So.
You know, think about the majority of our clients, you know, the enthusiast community.
For sure.
They're not going to swap all their amplifiers over to Dante. They're just not. And they shouldn't buy Dante to analog converters either. That is not a good solution either. So the Altitude 32 and 16 still have a wonderful shelf life on them. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're still market leading products. This doesn't give any audio performance advantages, only added flexibility.
I love it. Yeah, and you guys are giving us the new interface to the other products as well.
And we'll give it that first. So 16 and 32 get the upgrade first. They get They get the new decoders. They get all the new implementations that we have. And then when the CI comes along, that will have the sound.
Awesome.
Yeah, 100%. You know,
very cool.
You
have your purists too that are like, I've got to have my amps, my XLRs, all my normal stuff. I just want to see it that way.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the way it should be, right? You know, we're not trying to tell you that audio over IP is the future. We've been doing audio over IP since 2018. This is not new to us. We've been working in the pro market with audio over IP for a long time. We know its benefits and we know its disadvantages. So it's just a different topology for the right project. If you've got flexibility over buying the amplifiers, doing everything from start to finish, this might be suitable for you.
Sure.
If it's more of a retrofit upgrade type project, Altitude 1632 can still do that job for you.
Gotcha. Yeah. Man, you guys are killing it as always.
We try our best.
Yeah, we're so excited. Can't wait to see, how you guys innovate in the future. You're always coming up with new ideas and just, pushing that envelope further and further.
Yeah, well, this is the new hardware platform for us. So it's a different PC architecture in there, which will allow us to expand the product range and hit other points of the market that we've probably not given enough attention, like hi-fi and other things.
So tell me about, so sound quality you said is about the same.
Exactly the same.
What are options for clients that are looking for a higher fidelity sound? So I have some channel hi-fi guys, a couple $100,000 speakers, something really nice, and they just love Trinnov products. So what are your thoughts on that? Where would you go with that?
So you could use this. This product is capable of 192 kilohertz 24-bit. So there's no reason why you couldn't use this with the analog or the digital outputs.
Sure.
Likewise, you could use the Altitude 32. 16, as we know, is limited to 96 kilohertz. We're working on some things to address that market in particular, looking at how we can utilize the existing platform and get some super high quality out of the DACs.
Gotcha.
So that's way off. We haven't even started conceiving this kind of thing, but just to wet your whistles.
Just trying to get something out of you. I know you're always working on everything.
But the main stuff for us is the product release, and we've got the new office coming this year. So that's enough for us.
Gotcha. But so I technically could go. I got an individual in mind who wants to do stereo, a couple of really nice speakers, probably Perlison S7Ts.
Fabulous.
But he wants to do waveforming. So, 2-channel with 4 subwoofers. This could do it well.
Analog
at 192, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're going to give it a shot.
Please do.
So, awesome. All right, David, thank you so much, man.
My pleasure, Warren.
It was fantastic, and really looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Cheers, guys.
All right, bud.